Welcome everybody to Pirate Skills, and today I want to show you the social ads showroom, a little tool for yourself which helps you to discover high performing ads, especially on Facebook and Instagram, but I'm sure you can apply it to Google, to Pinterest and every other place. What it looks like is a miro board that helps you to visualize which of your ads are really performing well, how you should set up, what kind of creatives for every single one of your campaigns. And as always, you can download this. Go to pirateskills.com/showroom and you'll get access to the slides from today, to the miro board, and then you're free to share it with everybody. That would be greatly appreciated. So if we zoom in a little bit, just to give you a sneak peek, you can, for example, see in the top left that we have the inspiration for the newsfeed. And if we have a specific campaign in mind, let's say on Facebook and Instagram, we can see the different image ads, maybe the video ads, maybe the carousel ads. Yeah, but I'll show you a lot more once we open the miro board live. I've actually learned to love the topic of the creative part, the ad copywriting, the visual design, whether it's images, animations, or videos. I learned that pretty late. I'm much more a numbers guy, and I always thought it's all about the setup. It's about the perfect campaign structure, perfect tracking, a good funnel setup, and this is all true. Yeah, but I've said this many times when we talked about content marketing and storytelling. After that is set up, it's all about the creatives. It's all about the message and the way you communicate that message, and whether or not people are getting it, finding it valuable enough to take their time, click on it, and follow through. So this is why this is super important to me. And today I want to show you a bit of proof and maybe a new tool that you have not discovered yet within the big library of Facebook ad tools that's given us by the business manager, that shows you that creatives are truly key. And then we dig into the showroom, and I'm going to give you resources and links where you can further your knowledge into building better creatives. Yeah. And I share everything I know so far and the people that maybe know even more than I do about this kind of topic. So the first thing is proof. So why are creatives key? This is called the Creative Report by Facebook, and I'm going to show it to you live in a second. And what it does, it actually just gives you over your complete account the top 3 to 4, depending on your display size, and the worst click-through rate ads that you have ever done or in a given time frame. And I didn't know this existed until a couple of days ago, and I was just researching. I was looking for the mock-up tool. So if you head over, let me just show it to you live. So we switch to the browser now, and this is the live creative reporting. And you can see we are in Facebook Business Manager. If you open all of the tools, you can see the classic ones like Ads Manager, your ad account settings, Event Manager, where you set all of your conversion events. And then if you scroll down here, you have this creative reporting. Yeah, and this creative report lets you filter by date, or give you, like I did, for example, set up the maximum for this account that had over 1 million in reach in total. We can simply see the highest click-through rate ads. And we can see that they are of a similar type, and we can learn from that. And we can also see the worst click-through rate. So feel free to do this for you and just learn how significant the difference is. Imagine the difference between just a 0.4 click-through rate and 2.5%. That has nothing to do with each other. It's like 5 times cheaper to get a person to your website. I mean, it's very hard to compete if you have really low click-through ads. But you can also switch not only to the click-through rate, but also the cost per result. And you can see a list of all your conversion events here. This is where the nerd inside is now. Looking forward to more. Like the most views, the most interactions, the lowest cost, the best ROAS. Yeah, you can see how much reach they got. And I hope this helps you as a little introductory tool and gives you proof that click-through rate, even with small changes, can be huge. And I really enjoyed it once I discovered it. All right, I would say we are ready to dig into the Miro board. Again, you can download the Miro board at pirateskills.com/showroom and get everything in there. So let's open it up in the live browser. Here we go. As always, you can zoom in and zoom out and see that we have several boards here. And what you can do, if you open the link once you registered for free on Pirate Skills, no strings attached, you can just click here on the title and then duplicate that board for yourself. Yeah, and it's just then in your own free Miro account. And then you can do what you want with it. And this is the idea, to make it your own. I created a template. This is the one up here, where you can see, today I'm going to show this to you with the example of Facebook and Instagram newsfeed or story ads. Yeah, for each campaign that you have, for example, you have an event coming up, you have a certain product category you want to promote or a service, you can create one of those ad templates. Then you can have multiple of those on your Miro board. And here we are just comparing two different placements, because on many social ad platforms, we have different types of places with different formats. And then you can see how it looks. Yeah. And up here is the inspiration part, and here's the performance part. But the more, I think it gets much more clearer once you see it with the example of the social ads showroom of itself. So you can imagine that we are recording this video and we are going to put it up on YouTube and our website later, and people want to access this lead magnet, the Miro board, the social ads showroom. Now, how would we go about creating ads for this? I was thinking, okay, Facebook and Instagram ads, and of course LinkedIn ads might be a thing, but let's focus on Instagram ads and Facebook ads first. So the most important placements we have on Facebook and Instagram is first the newsfeed. Yeah, when the ad looks like this. This is Facebook. You have very often a square ad with some text at the top. You have a headline, which Instagram doesn't have, and a call to action button. If you compare this to Instagram, let's zoom out just a little bit. You can see there are differences in the performance from those two different placements. I can see that there's still a little mistake in here. Never mind, this is the Instagram one, which usually doesn't have the gray area below that and doesn't have the text above but below. Yeah, but the important thing is that you can set up your ads and see how they have performed in the past. And you can imagine that ads perform very differently when you put them on different placements. Newsfeed versus stories, very different look. Stories vertical and very little context. Newsfeed usually like square or a bit vertical, and much more context through text and headlines. And we need to make sure that we handle that. But even within, let's just say we just focus on image ads. Imagine you have those two different ads. The one is the normal cover that we use, that you also saw once you signed up for this event, Social Ads Showroom, discovering high performance ads, get free access. And I tried to phrase it a different way, a bit more in the language of the more advanced people. Do you need high click-through rate templates for Facebook and Instagram ads? So more specific, and the language a bit less beginner friendly. Yeah, because I think this topic is more targeted towards the advanced people. Even though I think it's incredibly helpful if you're starting out, at the beginning, and then get a nice overview. But one of those two ads is going to perform better. Which one would you guess? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And after a couple of weeks, I can tell you. But what I need when I set up a campaign, I need an idea. How do they look like? What are the different value propositions I'm pushing? And how can I take those images that are very static and maybe turn them into an animation or a slideshow? Let me open up that for you. This is created in Canva. And you can see on the left-hand side was a very, very short version that is going to just show up the animation once, run for 15 seconds, repeat. Yeah. The reason I have those videos usually run for 15 seconds is in case I also put them into stories, it will take up the maximum amount of one carousel slot. Yeah, I'll get to carousels in a moment. But you can already imagine that those two different ads, the normal image ad and this animation, they are going to perform differently. The hypothesis behind the animation is that people will get triggered through movement and that their attention is going to stick. And if that attention sticks, the click-through rate is higher. This can be complete bullshit and your image ad can still be better. But from my experience, the animated ads have a higher click-through rate and a higher probability of follow. Why? I don't know. I guess our brains are just wired that way. It's more, in psychology, we would call it salient. Yeah, the trigger is more salient, and therefore it's more likely that we create an action based on that trigger. And even though it's pretty subtle, and I don't like super fancy animations, do what fits to your brand, to my brand, it doesn't fit to make wild animations. But again, one of those two is going to work better, and I can learn for myself, are static images working better in general, or animations, or short animations versus longer slideshows, where I actually just put the 3 different ads that I created for a carousel into one video, one after another. I created all of those with Canva. Canva, we talked about a couple of times before. It's a free tool, and even if you use the premium version to export to MP4, for example, it costs like $13 per month. Very, very, very a good investment. And then we have the third style that is popular on the newsfeed, which is called the carousel. And the carousel is created out of several different sheets that you can put in images or videos again. And here we have a static version. People can just swipe through that carousel. And now people have a chance to get multiple value hooks in for the same price, essentially. Yeah, here we say, do you need high CTR templates for your Instagram ads? Then you have been looking for the Social Ads Showroom. Social Ads Showroom, discover high performance ads. All 3 times, get free access. Of course, we can make those animated again. Let me show you. Let's start those animations. By the way, if you wonder how I'm getting videos onto a Miro board, I'm converting them to GIFs. Yeah, and you can do this with Canva as well. And then they are actually visible, because if you would try to pull an MP4 file in, it just doesn't work with Miro. Yeah, but if you had them live on Facebook or YouTube, it would theoretically work. Yeah, but usually we don't want that. So I convert them to GIFs, and then I see them here. On a MacBook, on Mac there is a cool app called Gifske, Gifske. You just drop in a video, turns out a GIF, yeah, in your chosen configuration. And now when they swipe through, they have 3 animated versions of the same creatives that we saw up there statically. Again, hypothesis is animation works better than that. But instead of animated, we could do a completely different style. Let's say talking head, where I talk into the camera and tell you about the Social Ads Showroom. And we are probably going to do this afterwards. I want to just have the big categories. Now you can see these are, for this example, for Facebook and Instagram, for the newsfeed, we have chosen squared images, videos, and carousels. And one of those ads is going to perform significantly better than the others. And I'm not a very good predictor which one is going to be. I'm a good tester. Yeah, I can tell you that I'm betting on this one, on the carousel animation version. And after a couple of bugs, yeah, you know. And then we have, of course, stories. Stories is my favorite placement on Instagram. I think it is undervalued, and lots of big brands somehow have the problem with turning the camera from this angle to this angle. And this is why there's more inventory than advertisers here in stories, which usually, not always, can result in lower clicks, higher conversions. But what is the disadvantage of the story? Let's look at it in the real world. Here we have the newsfeed version, and you can see that we have text above and below. And with Instagram, it's just below, but still you have text to explain what you're doing. With stories, not so much. With stories, you have to put everything into the visual that people are seeing, which is another argument for animations, where you could exchange text against something else. As you can see here, it runs through the cycle. And you have the big advantage of videos because they can show up longer than 5 seconds. Any image that you put in only shows up for 5 seconds. If you just turn this image into an animation and tell Canva to export it at 15 seconds, and maybe I can show you that in a second, then you get to show your ad for 15 seconds to the person. And this is still not using carousels. If you want to take it one step further, you can create longer ads like the slideshow, which is longer than 15 seconds. But if videos are longer than 15 seconds, what Instagram is doing at the moment is cutting that video short, and you have to click a small text button, which I think not many people know about yet, in order for them to watch the whole video. Yeah, I saw it on my own devices cut off after 5 seconds, but today I saw it also on different devices cut off after 15 seconds. But if your video is 60 seconds long, you're already knowing that most people will, if even, watch the first 15 seconds. And it's the same with YouTube ads, for example. The first 5 to 15 seconds are just the key to converting people. And that hammers that home. Now, there are tricks, as always. And with Instagram stories, you can use carousel ads, where you can have many different images or videos side by side. If you go beyond 3, Instagram is going to start mixing the order, or people again have to press a button to see the extra images. So I tend to stick to 3, but feel free to test 2 and 6. It's all worth testing, but I have good experiences with 3. Now, if you turn that into 3 animated ones, you get 3 times up to 15 seconds, so 45 seconds of story ad without the user getting any prompts that they have to expand the story or that they have to continue watching, which is, I think, the best way to go. This is again the one I would bet on the most. This has the advantage that I can give people as much input as I like. Not as I like, but within 45 seconds, but it's way more than the static image over here. Can this still, in theory, outperform the images and animations? For sure. And I've seen cases where it does. So again, we need to go back to a decent testing setup. Now, this is the top part. This is where I usually put ads in that I want to create, that inspire me. They don't only have to be my own ads. And at the bottom, I put the ads from which I have real world results. So I'm going to look into that in a second. But I usually set up, create a copy of this whole canvas and just create like an inspiration board, like this one here. Here, for example, I took a couple of videos from the ads library that I really liked. Here, for example, from Russell Brunson, a guy that I would love to learn more marketing from. Read all of his books, watched his videos. He's like the master of funnel building. And now this is his current ad where he's one of the current ads where he's promoting his tool called ClickFunnels. I'm not a huge fan of the tool, but I generally very much respect the way he's creating ads, he's phrasing things. And I always like to look like, what is he currently doing? Can I maybe adopt something of that? Can I make it my own? Yeah, can I improve on it? Or we have this video ad, which is from Garrett Müller, a guy from Cologne who specializes on creating social media ads, especially for e-commerce. And this is a user-generated video where a customer talks about the use of the product. Yeah, it's loading. I'm going to share his website, Performance Pixel, in a moment. Yeah, let me refresh my Miro board because that just couldn't handle the load. Here's another Russell Brunson ad where he's promoting the 5-year anniversary of his book .com Secrets. It's one of the the OG funnel books. And he had the beginning where people one is taking a coffee and one is reading the book. And now he shows the differences between getting the book for the price of a coffee, and yeah, how that benefits your business, like enable financial freedom, tasting good. No, that is only for the coffee. And then it repeats. Yeah. So this is a very good ad idea that we can recreate, for example. And you don't have to use any fancy editing tools. You can just use PowerPoint, Canva, and your iPhone editing. Yeah, feel free to use Adobe Premiere or whatever you like to do. It's usually not necessary. And then some stories I liked. Again, this is from Garrett, from a brand called Zoe Lou, which is doing handbags. We're going to show this ad anyways when we look into the ads library, where people like Garrett are getting a lot of inspiration. Same goes for me. Let's see if it actually loads. And then you can see a really nice, fast-paced ad that shows off a bag that has interchangeable covers. And it's fast, it's social media friendly, and I would really love to see the performance numbers behind these ads, and maybe Zoe Lou and Garrett can share them at a later stage. And if you want to see ads from famous brands like Starbucks, and you can imagine that they have pretty much an infinite marketing budget. You can just go to the ads library, which I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes, and see what are they doing. So the point being, you can create your own inspiration board based on your own ads and based on other people's ads that you have seen in the real world and recorded or took screenshots of. And that then helps you very much to create more high-performing campaigns. So let's say you have created a couple of inspiring things and you think like, okay, I want to test this video against this slideshow in the newsfeed. And you let them run. And I've set up this little performance sheets to compare the results from your ads. And let's see if this is running. So in this scenario, here is the static image and here's the animated image. And now we are seeing like, where do we get better results? We spent €100 in the same platform, Facebook, and the same audience. This is very important because, of course, retargeting audiences are going to perform way better than cold audiences. So I took a 3% lookalike audience from people who purchased stuff before, spent €100, got 83 clicks, at 0.9% click-through rate, and a €1.21 cost per click. I got 14 registrations at a conversion rate, which is clicks to registrations of 16.9%, with a cost per registration of €7.40. And I put a link to that campaign. So if I later want to look at the results today or after a week or something, I have an easy overview. And what I can do here now is quickly reference, is the animated version actually better in this case? So again, we spent €100, got 128 clicks at a 1.4% click-through rate. So that is a significant difference. 0.9 against 1.4. It's pretty much a 50% increase in click-through rate from that baseline, which resulted in a much lower cost per click of €0.78. 19 registration, a bit lower registration rate, but in total a lower cost per registration of €5.26. Yeah, and you put in your ads and in your numbers in the significant time frames. But this, if I get to see this more often, I would say, okay, animations are working consistently better. Now I have a new campaign coming up. I can now focus on animated videos, but then more focus on different messages within that format, animated text ads. And I can check out, oh yeah, how did this run on Instagram? So now we took not the static image, but this was the slideshow where we have 3 different messages dropped after each other in a slideshow in one story. This could also be done as a carousel. Same audience, again, €100, even more clicks, better click-through rate, lower cost per click, more registration, similar conversion rates, and the lowest registration yet. That, if I see that more frequently, I get the idea of really focusing on making my story ads working as good as they possibly can. And this is what I want you to do, is to set up your own inspiration board and then start tracking the ads and seeing what actually works and what doesn't. So what you need to do for that is just copy this template at the top and call it whatever campaign you're currently working on, the core value proposition, the key placements that you want to create, make creatives for this ad, and then put in the different formats that you are most interested in. And then track the results. I think at the moment for social ads, the most important placements are newsfeed and stories. And I see a lot of people making the mistake of pushing newsfeed ads, like the square image ads, into stories. You all know those stories where there's like ugly text below it. This is what happens when people push square images, or at least not 9:16 images into the story feed. Looks ugly, looks unprofessional. And I want to show you a couple of tools that really help me to realize that and to see and to preview how ads are looking like. Feel free to just copy this and make it completely yours and put your own branding on it. Now let's dig into resources that help me to learn how to create proper ads and how I get inspiration and how I get a preview of the ads that I'm currently building in different placements. So this is why I set up this resources board and expect this to be filled up over the next couple of weeks and months. I will definitely put in your feedback as well. And I will put up new resources there, new examples, maybe new ad specs if those are changing. So here's what we're seeing. We have Facebook ads as a resource, of course, and they have a nice overview of the supported placements. So if you look at that, you can see exactly which ratio, height to width, is supported on which placement. You can see that in the Facebook newsfeed, a lot is supported, but not the vertical ones. Yeah, let me zoom out just a little bit. 9:16. So this is why I can't put in the story ads simply into the newsfeed, but the other way around, which is sad. Yeah, the stories, they accept everything. They just look crap. Yeah, and the green fields are showing you what is recommended. And what Facebook recommends at the moment for the Facebook and Instagram newsfeed is either square, that is 1:1, or a slight vertical format of 4:5. I also recommend this format because it simply takes up more screen real estate for the user for free, and it's maybe a bit higher probability that they recognize your ad. I just think that square is like, it's the universal on every platform working format, whether you do Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, wherever you like. Square always does it. And I generally ignore different placements like the Facebook right side column, Facebook stories I completely ignore, or Messenger stories. They just don't work for me. Maybe at a future point they start working. For me, they are just doing pretty much nothing. But in case you want to know which formats are working exactly where, this link is hopefully continuously updated by Facebook. And then we have, the creative reporting that I already mentioned, but also the ads builder. I was looking for this with like suggestions by Facebook, but this somehow got lost. The only thing that is left pretty much is the ads builder. I already have it open up here. You can reach it in the menu under Creative Hub. And what I like about it, in contrast to the normal Facebook Ads Manager, is that you actually get to see every single placement. And then you can even adjust the different ads to the placements and see it in the overview. You can do it all in the Ads Manager. I'm well aware of that. You can make it available to show in Ads Manager as one of the ads you want to do. But here is where you can get feedback from your team or a client before you publish them. And it's a much better overview to learn what is possible and not possible here. So what did I create? First of all, you have on the left-hand side the normal interface on how you create your ads. So I decided to go for a single image or video ad. And then you have all the placements. So here are all the news feeds that you can optimize for. And let's say you wanted to have a bit of a different creative on the Instagram newsfeed compared to the Facebook newsfeed. And then you can just go in here and change it, crop it, put text over it, change the destination. And this is really helpful. And seeing the obvious difference here between Facebook and Instagram, that you have a lot more text above the image than on Instagram. It's really noticeable. And you don't ignore that there is a big title area here that is only viewable on the Facebook newsfeed and on the Facebook video feed, but not on Instagram Explorer, not on the Instagram feed, not in stories. Now, of course, I told you that I do not want my stories to look like crap. Yeah, and I want to show you how that actually happened. So I went into stories and reels. Reels are another interesting topic we might talk about. And you can go into Instagram stories and customize. You see that I uploaded a 9:16 image in my favorite resolution. By the way, they now support way higher resolution than that, but I actually don't feel the need to do this. So it doesn't look like crap. So how did it look like before? You can just delete the customization and now you see what happens. Now let's zoom in. This is in a moment once it's here. This is what it looks like. And I hate it when people do this. You got the square image, you get a random background color based on the colors in your images, and now the text of your ad is starting to show. And it just looks, in this case, it doesn't look even that bad, but it very often looks really bad. In the Facebook stories, I mean, again, it doesn't do anything for me at the moment. The customization is not overwritten, but you can see that it looks way better on the right-hand side than on the left-hand side. And you definitely want to avoid that. You always want to create a specific creative for the stories, just because stories are such a good placement at the moment. And it's very easy in Canva, let me show you, to just convert one format to the other. So I started actually with the stories format here. This is how I set everything up. I took my logo, the text images, and I can just work in this. And this is also the place where I created the animation. Let me show that really quick. Up here in the top left corner, if you are clicking on the side of your image, click on the animation button, and this is where you can animate it. And the fade animation is what you saw, but you can also do more extreme ones like the scrapbook or the baseline pop or the pop-up thing. And depending on your style, what you want to create makes sense. To me, fade made sense. But you can also go into every single element and say, for example, an effect like typewriter, which I really like. Yeah, it types in the call to action. It draws attention to the call to action. And this is what animations should be doing. Guiding people's attention. First of all, to not just scroll past your story, but then focus on the value, on the call to action. get free access here. And then I created several ones and I just exported them here. Either if you download as MP4, you can download every single page as MP4 and have it uploadable to Facebook. If you want to have it for Miro as a preview, you can download it as a GIF. Or for normal Facebook static ads, even though I have an animation on it, I can still download the normal static version as a PDF here. And then you can resize this whole thing into a more appropriate format for the newsfeed, like Square. Yeah, I already did this. You can see it here. I just put everything back into its place, shrunk it down a little bit, but all of the animations were still there. And maybe next time I would probably start with Square and then resize up to the bigger stories, because it messed up my designs a bit too much. Yeah, this is how I created. And this makes it very simple just to fix that and to make customizations for the important placements. And then this mockup studio really gives you the option to see it and preview it, how it looks like. And what I do then, I take screenshots or videos and put that on my social ads showroom. Yeah, that is the ads library I wanted to show you. Not the ads library, the ads builder, the mockup tool in the Creative Hub. Now you have seen, okay, I can use Canva, I can create that, but where do I now get the ideas for the good ads? This is where the ads library comes in. Of course, you can observe in your own usage, and whenever you see a good ad, wherever you are, you can screenshot it on your phone or take a video of it. But the ads library lets you look into accounts from brands that you like. So if you go to the start page here, it allows you to choose a country. So let's go into Germany and let's see all ads. All of those special category ads are usually not relevant, at least not for my business. And now let's look for Zoe Lou. So what we do, we saw it already in the preview, we just type in the name and now we can see it. And I know Garrett from Performance Pixel has them as a customer and he creates just great ads. And if you want to get some inspiration, check out Garrett's page, especially the portfolio page. Yeah, where there you can see that one of his customers is Zoe Lou, but also Sixt. And he always has great ideas. Look at this Finanzguru ad. Yeah, really appreciate that, Garrett. So how do you get them in the ads library? Here we have it open. Now that we choose the country, the ad type, and the ad account, we can see that we can choose any app account, even Apple's, even though Apple's not doing Facebook ads, so it's not that interesting, but Starbucks, what I showed you, or Sixt. And now you can see that they currently have 71 ads running. So this is a representation of what is currently running, plus a little bit of the past. And you can see very different ad types here. So this is like, it's our birthday, a special offer, static images. But the interesting part is that they have now this nice split view. Left-hand side is an image, right-hand side is text plus a product picture. You can see where they put their branding. You can see the ads that are images and check out the audio from it. This is also something I couldn't show on Miro. And because audio can be a factor, having ads with audio, if the audio is not bad, is also probably a factor for a higher engagement rate. You can test that as well. And now we have a completely different style. Yeah, and whenever I see different styles and formats, I get very curious. So we maybe have an influencer or one of the founders of the brand put in stuff in a normal, natural environment, but you can see that it was speeded up a little bit. It's usually stuff speeded up to make it less boring. Yeah, not that what she's doing is boring, but keeping people's attention is such a big challenge these days. And here we have a nice story ad that just has a nice zoom pan thing going on. Again, that is a different format that ends up on my board here. And I put up my inspiration elements up here. And this is what you can do with every single campaign. I showed you Russell Brunson, show that again. And anybody you like. Yeah, of course, Russell Brunson is maybe not doing ads in Germany. Well, he is. There we can see, oh yeah, there are like cartoon style ads. This is also animated. Then they probably have ads. Oh yeah, this is a popular ad where people browse through a book. I've seen that adopted a couple of times with a crazy background. Yeah, it's very hard to look away from this type of ad. Yeah, but you usually just don't come up with those kinds of ideas except you are like this super creative person. But a lot of people already had a lot of great ideas, and I don't want you to steal them. I want you to steal them like an artist. I like to see the idea, but then make it your own. Here we have those story style ads with those animated characters. One of the highest click-through rates I've ever seen were from these types of ads. And there are free tools out there that allow you to create like a storyboard, something similar to this. And it was like financial services for retirement. It is boring as get. And we had 4% click-through rates. And I was like, mind blown. Yeah, never expected that. Yeah, and you can watch and learn and see what fits your brand and make it your own. So that is the Facebook ads library. Now, do I have anything else I want to show you? I think that is pretty much it. Yeah. Here you can put up a spec sheet for the ad creatives that you want to do. Again, those are just screenshots for me to easier reference that, and then to get a little preview of, okay, how does it look in a typical device? And again, this is just Canva putting up squares in there with some text so I can see the difference and how much more space a 9:16 image captures. But you might be interested in the 4:5 size. How much of an average screen does a 4:5 capture compared to a square one? It's hard to figure that out in your brain if you not just see it. Yeah. And again, this can be copied for single campaigns that you do, or a channel that you're trying to push, or you can just create several copies of this here. Yeah, you just tap on this, or what I usually do is I make sure I have the blue arrow here on the left-hand side, select everything, copy it, and now I create the next template, yeah, on the left-hand side for another campaign. Maybe I put up some text up here already, like, oh yeah, I want different image versions, but this should lead to a feeling that, okay, for everything that is big that is coming up, you maybe should always have a certain set of ads ready to go. And not once you launch it, you think about, hey, what kind of ads do we want? No, you can already set up a perfect set of ads that have been proven in the past and launch your new idea, your new product angle, your new value proposition for the same product with a great set of creatives that can improve over time. All right, that's it from the showroom. On December 1st, we're going to talk about how to do lead generation at scale. Now, we had a couple of topics that have led up to this. And now the question becomes, how far can you actually go with the lead generation? When should you take a break? And when should you really step on the gas so you're not wasting money or even giving leads to your competition? Yeah, if you want to look at that, go to pirateskits.com/scale-leads, and I'm seeing you then on December 1st. That's it for today. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.